Hello, Janesville, and welcome back to Park Place Views, the monthly program that aims to keep Janesville residents informed by highlighting the people, places, and partners of the City of Janesville. As always, this program is brought to you by the City of Janesville and JATV Media Services. I'm your host, Betsabe Ramos, the Communications Intern for the City of Janesville. In last month's episode, we sat down with Communication Action's Public Relations Manager, Lexi Tintelman, to discuss the programs and resources Community Action offers to the people of Rock County. Today, I'm looking forward to being joined by Janesville Fire Department Chief Ryan Murphy. Chief Murphy has just completed his first year as Fire Chief for the City of Janesville, so I thought it'd be a great time to have him on the program to give us an update on the JFD and how it's going as Chief. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ryan.
Well, thanks for having me, Betsabe.
So, Chief Murphy, before we get started, I thought I would give you a chance to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
I'm a lifelong resident of Janesville. My family and I live here just down the street from the library, and my parents grew up here in Janesville as well, so Janesville is our home.
Awesome. So as I mentioned at the start of our interview, you have just rounded out your first year as Fire Chief for the JFD, but you've been with Janesville for a number of years now, as you just mentioned. So can you tell us why you chose a career in the fire department?
I always wanted to kind of be that person that people counted on for help, and this was a great career, and I had friends of my parents that were firefighters that I was able to talk to them about it and see how much they really enjoyed it and the interactions they have with the community and the positive ones, and really thought it was a great opportunity, great career for me.
Wow, okay. So when people think of firefighters, most people think of a fire chief like yourself and other firefighters. So could you explain how management is structured at the JFD and just how many staff members are there?
Sure. So the JFD has 90 line personnel, so those are the firefighters and paramedics, and that respond to the calls, for service, whether it's a ambulance call, fire call, special duty, any of those things. That 90 is the individuals that respond to people's calls for need. And that's 30 per shift, and we have 3 shifts that work 24 hours a day. And they work 24 hours on, 24 hours off, 24 hours on, 24 hours off, 24 hours on, and then they have 4 days off. So it comes out to about 56 hours a week that they're at the firehouse. And then we have 2 full-time fire prevention specialists, a fire marshal and a fire inspector. And then we have a part-time fire inspector, and they're part of the Fire Prevention Bureau. And the Fire Prevention Bureau, they take care of code enforcement, but they also take care of fire prevention education and fire investigations. And then there's chief, myself, and then 2 deputy fire chiefs, one that oversees EMS and support operations, and the other one oversees operations of the department. And then we have 2 administrative support specialists that work within the fire department.
Wow, so it sounds like there's a lot of complexities to working for the fire department. It's not just putting out fires. There's a whole lot to that.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question is, how many different areas does the JFD help the community in? Because I know when I first started working for the city, I thought the fire department helps put out fires and that's about it. But I've learned pretty quickly there's the dive team and there's child safety. So could you explain a little bit more about that?
So along with firefighting, we also do the EMS or medical side of things. But in addition to that, we have a dive team, like you stated, but a swift water rescue team. So they take care of any water-related emergencies within the city of Janesville and also assist with mutual aid outside of the city. We have a technical rescue team. They take care of rope rescue, trench rescue, building collapse, and confined space. Then we have a hazmat team that we partner with Rock County Emergency Management and provide hazmat response within the county and city of Janesville. We have a tactical EMS program that we work side by side with JPD's SWAT team, and the tactical medics take care of the medical needs of the SWAT team. And then we have a drone team. We have a couple other smaller teams as well, but you mentioned the child safety seat. That's a great program where parents, expecting parents, grandparents, guardians can take child safety seats into the firehouses. We have 1 clinic a month that people can bring their vehicles and car seats in, and the car seat techs just make sure that the seats are in there properly and safely to transport any of the younger residents of the city.
That's awesome. That's a lot to deal with and handle, but it's great for the community to have access to those sort of things. So thank you for that. So right now we're in the middle of summer and lots of people typically go out swimming. They go to water parks, they go to the lake, the river. So what are some water safety tips that you have for folks at home that are looking to get out in the water this year?
One of the things that we always make sure is people reach out and try to find a place for swim lessons, especially younger people in our community. Make sure they take advantage of swim lessons we have during the summer so they're more comfortable in the water, but also in case something happens, they have that basic understanding of how to save themselves. And for adults and guardians and parents to make sure that children aren't swimming alone, that there's always someone at a larger party too that are just kind of watching, younger people that are in the pools or water to make sure they're safe. If people are out on the water, make sure they have a PFD if they're not a personal flotation device. If they're not wearing it, make sure it's within arm's length to grab it and help themselves in that time of need. So those are the big things that we try to instill in people. And if people have swimming pools, make sure that there's gates and stuff that keep younger people, your younger residents out of those pool areas in the event that they get a little more curious and try to explore for themselves.
Awesome. So something that our viewers might not be aware of, Ryan, is that the JFD is trying to upgrade equipment to provide better help for our residents. So has the department recently grabbed any new equipment, or are you currently using any new things?
We had a new ambulance arrive the other day. Nothing really new to it or new technology or anything like that with it. But we did order and receive new thermal imaging cameras, and these were an upgrade from the previous cameras and previous generations of cameras we had. And thermal imaging cameras are provided tools for our firefighters when they're searching for anyone that may be trapped in a burning building, things like that. It really cuts down on the time that they search and can get to somebody in need. And it also provides the firefighters, when they do what we call a 360, or if there's a house that's on fire or a building on fire, they go around the entire building. Well, they can use these newer thermal imagers to pinpoint where the fire may be and help them really get a quick plan together and get to that fire. And then once the fire is put out, knocked down, these cameras also provide like a hot spot or something that may cause a rekindle of a fire after we've mopped up and put all the water on it. So it gives us an opportunity to maybe dig a little further in certain areas to make sure the fire's totally out.
Wow, that's really cool. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. So that's awesome that the city of Janesville has access to that now.
Yep, every frontline vehicle now has a thermal imager, which is an upgrade from what we had before too.
That's awesome. So at the end of June, the JFD had 5 new firefighters complete the Summer Recruit Academy. So can you tell us a little bit about this new class of firefighters and what the training consisted of?
Yeah, we have 5 great new firefighter recruits. They've been working hard since, as you stated, June, and 4 of them are paramedics and 1 is a firefighter EMT, and a wide variety of experience. And what they've been doing so far is really learning the basics. One of the biggest things we really instill is team building and working as a team. But beyond that, they've also worked on all the firefighting skills of searching, like we talked about, pulling hose, doing it effectively, certain techniques to move people around inside of buildings, especially if they're down and, you have to drag them out. Some of the techniques with that, how to properly move ladders around, put them up to the windows if we need them, put them up to roofs. We talk about ventilation, and one of the big things we've talked about recently too within the fire service is fire behavior. When we were younger, back when I started, there was more natural products in buildings and in homes to where fires, it kind of gave you some time to get out and safe. Well, now with all the synthetic things and plastics and petroleum kind of based products like we're sitting on right now, fires grow rapidly and that time to escape really narrows. So these firefighters, we also mock up what it's called a dollhouse, and it shows different fire behaviors and how you open certain windows or roofs and close them, how that changes the fire behavior and the path of the fire as well. So that's one of the things that we're really stressing on too, is this fire behavior component. But other stuff is basic water rescue, self-survival if they fall into the moving body of water like the river, boat operations, backing boats in. I mean, we even at this time, we have still use checks to pay for our food. So even teaching younger firefighters how to use their checkbook, because it's not something people use very often. And
I don't use a checkbook.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. And then just shopping, how do you shop and go to the grocery store? And so we've kind of taken it to a little bit of a different angle from when I first became a firefighter.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. And you mentioned that there's team bonding exercises. So that kind of leads to our next question, that there's a real shortage of firefighters right now. So how is the JFD combating that challenge and retaining their current staff?
We just try to build the camaraderie and show what a great fire department and services the Janesville Fire Department offers. And we have those other teams like we talked about earlier, the technical rescue team, dive team, things like that. That gives firefighters in Janesville opportunities outside of straight firefighting and EMS. It gives them some other things that they may be interested in being a diver, like I said, or running drones and things like that. So we hope all that kind of stuff, as it does provide those services to the community, but it's also something that firefighters are interested in doing. And Janesville gives that opportunity to younger firefighters as well, which in some departments you need certain seniority, time on the job. So that's something different about the Janesville Fire Department that we really try to emphasize, of all the opportunities we have outside of just coming to work and running calls. And, we have some of those other things that they may be interested in.
That's awesome. So if folks at home are interested in exploring careers in like the fire world, what advice or encouragement would you give them?
Blackhawk Tech, and even in high schools now, they're doing EMT classes. You can take Firefighter 1, which is a state course that the JFD requires that when you apply that you're a state firefighter 1 and an EMT. So Blackhawk Tech and high school guidance counselors are very well versed in what individuals need to get on a fire department. But in the JFD, we have an Explorer program that is run by firefighters on the Janesville Fire Department, that individuals in high school at the age of 15 and above, they can get a little bit of a taste of what a career in the fire service looks like. So those are some options right now. But those, Mercy Health System runs a great paramedic program that a lot of firefighters in Janesville have attended. I attended it almost 30 years ago now, or
Wow.
beyond 30 years now.
Yeah. Wow. So you can see that there's always been a way to pave your path over to the fire department. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's very competitive right now because, as you stated, that shortage of firefighters or applicants. When I got on the fire department, there was hundreds of people applying for just a few jobs. Now that's down to 20, 30 people applying for the same number of jobs. And a lot of the surrounding communities have started to hire career firefighters. So that pool, or that number of firefighters available or people interested in the fire service, it's very competitive for them, and they can really choose where they'd like to go.
That's awesome. So the JFD works closely with the Janesville Police Department. So could you talk about the importance of collaboration and how both of those departments sustain the relationship that you have?
Yeah, so it is extremely important. A lot of the scenes that we both respond to, we respond to incidents that they're on scene of, violent incidents, standbys, or something that just doesn't seem right to a police officer. The fire department responds to assist them in navigating, maybe if it's a medical condition, things like that. We have them, and then we respond collaboratively to vehicle accidents. And if there's a fire, they respond with us and assist us. And the police department is great in that they report to the command post, which is the battalion chief from each shift, is the incident commander for a fire. So the police department approaches, and we work collaboratively about how to best protect the scene and work together to make things work. Chief Pearson and I meet on a monthly basis and talk quite regularly about, how the two departments are collaborating. Is there things we can improve on? Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and I talked about the Thames team and the SWAT team's collaboration and working together. That's been really good for the fire department and police department, to where they work a lot closer together. They train once a month together, and that's, like I said, been good to build those relationships with younger people, not just Chief Pearson and I, but we're working together at a younger, smaller groups and younger firefighters and police officers.
Speaking of younger people, we're shifting gears now. This upcoming month of August, we actually have the Fill the Fire Truck annual event. So could you talk about the history behind that event and just how it came to be?
So Fire Marshal Nate Simmons and the Fire Prevention Bureau have been working on that in conjunction with Walmart for the last few years. And I forget the date right off the bat. You surprised me with this question. But so it's just people can stop out. It's the beginning of August. I think it's the first Friday in August. Come on out to Walmart, and we have a list of supplies that the school district of Janesville has kind of provided us. So we tell people what students in the school district of Janesville and some of the surrounding districts need, and people are more than welcome to make a donation to where we can buy the supplies, or they can go into Walmart and purchase those supplies and provide them to us, and we fill up a fire truck the best we can with school supplies and then turn them over to the school district, and they distribute those.
That's awesome. And it's just great to see that you're reaching even those younger audiences that might not be in the field yet, but maybe one day they will be.
Yeah, we encourage, we want younger people in the community to see themselves as firefighters one day, and really what a great career and position in the community it is.
Yeah, awesome. So we talked a bit about at the beginning of the program that this is your first year as chief for the city of Janesville, and I wanted to bring us full circle and ask you, is there any goals or certain visions that you have in mind for the future as you lead the fire department?
So we've done a lot of outreach in this first year, and we've started to build upon some momentum. And one of the things we really are focused on right now is a Pulse Point. That's an app that you can put on your phone if you're trained in CPR. This app, and it's in conjunction with the Rock County Communications Center and some of the bigger groups that have helped us get this up and going, is Mercy Health, SSM, Blaine's Foundation, and others that I know I'm missing, but those are the ones that come to mind. But if you have this app and you're CPR trained, if someone goes down in a public place, that this app goes off once it comes in as someone that's needing CPR or they're doing CPR on them, to where a layperson can respond. The best example is there are some firefighters that we're helping teach up at Madison College. 2 doors down or 2 classrooms down from them, someone collapsed and they were doing CPR. In this classroom, a bunch of people's apps went off that somebody needed help. So they went down to that classroom and started CPR until the Madison Fire Department got there. So that's one of the big projects we're working on right now. And in conjunction with that is maybe some more public access AEDs, or automatic external defibrillators. And then one of the other bigger things that kind of encompasses these is community risk reduction. Like, one of the things we're responding to a lot of right now is falls in the home or falls in apartments, and people just can't get up, or they're being injured, and it really impacts their lives. And there's a lot of rehabilitation as part of a hip fracture or a leg fracture. So we're working with the county ARDC to maybe work on a health or a fall prevention program, work together and try to get out and educate people. But we get into their homes and see what maybe contributed to a fall, and maybe we can help them say, hey, maybe we should get rid of some of these area rugs or things like that that people could trip over, or we can help them with that.
Wow, that's awesome. So, Chief, we are just about out of time, but before I let you go, if there's any questions or any wonderings that folks might have at home, how can they reach out to you?
They can just call the City of Janesville Fire Department at 608-755-3050, and the administrative assistant that answers can point people in the right direction. But you know, it's been a pleasure and an honor to be the fire chief in the City of Janesville for this 1 year, and I'm surrounded by exceptional people that really make my job easy and make me look good, because the fire department is great.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you. Well, that just about does it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us again, Chief Ryan Murphy. On behalf of myself and our viewers, I would like to express our gratitude for the safety that you and all the members of the Janesville Fire Department provide.
Thank you very much, Betsabe.
I invite you to stay connected with the city by following us on Facebook and Instagram, signing up for notifications from the JPD via the Nixle app, and signing up to receive city press releases by visiting janesvillewi.gov/email lists. For Park Place Views and the City of Janesville, I'm Betsabe Ramos. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next month.